And welcome to another episode of, well, it's just me, but, talking about Flash, Arrow, the good stuff, the TV stuff. So let's dive into it. We've talked about The Flash. What an amazing show. We've talked a little bit about Supernatural, not a part of DC, still on the CW. Honorable mention for the last season. And speaking of another last season, we're going to be jumping into Arrow. I know, we're very sad. Um, yeah, we're sad. Uh, anyways, so last season of Arrow, it's all going to tie in the Crisis. That's the big lead up for all the shows on DC, on the CW. We've got Crisis happening. All the superheroes are dealing with it kind of on their own, individually, dealing with the Monitor and Crisis and what their role is. And the big ones are going to be Barry and, of course, Oliver, who have both been told that they're going to need to sacrifice themselves in order to save anybody. Um, and we know at least that is true for Arrow because this is going to be the final season. I hope they don't the Flash, but I don't know. They got a lot of speedsters on that show, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But Oliver Queen, we're this is the last time we're gonna see him on screen. He started the whole thing. I mean, whether you like some of the seasons, like them all, I think he started this whole thing. Without him, we would not have the shows we have in the universe that's been created without what Arrow laid down as a foundation. So I'm just saying. So super exciting stuff. I wanted to jump back into Arrow and see what the last season was all about. To be honest, I have followed it, but not episode to episode, bits and pieces here and there, major story arcs, things of that nature. I don't really know the side story. You know how in almost every season we've gone to the past. We've gone to either Oliver's past or something in the past to bring us to what the true season is about. Like in season one, he's on the island, and it's that journey of him on the island, and throughout those 5 years that he was missing. But now they've changed it, and now they go into the future with uh, his daughter and son. The son is like a tech guy, like his mom, Felicity, and then the daughter is like, of course, like Arrow. She's like a fighter, and they have like their own little team going on. Speedy is not Thea Queen, but Speedy, the Thea's ex boyfriend who became Red Arrow and then left and then came back and then I don't really know what happened to him, but apparently he's in the future. And he's not there all the time. He's just there kind of the time helping out. Don't know what that's about. Not really paying attention too much to that. I just want to get the understanding of Crisis and really focus on Oliver's character and his final arc, which is turning out to be really interesting. In episode one, let's really dive into it now. I know I rant. I apologize. Anyways, so in episode one, we wake up season one, episode one. He's back on the island. He's kind of reliving that first episode of coming back, and at first you don't really know what's happening. At least I didn't. I was kind of confused, but interested to see them go back to the beginning. It seems like every time something starts to come to an end, they start to revisit places we all hold dear and go back to fond memories and moments. And season one was the thing that started it off, so they give basically all of season one and in one episode we see his arc, leaving the island and coming home. Everything that's changed. Things are a little bit different this time around. Tommy Merlin is the bad guy. And we find out that Moira, his mom, is married to Malcolm Merlin. Wow, I can't remember. I remember all these names. Uh, they're together, and Thea, Oliver's daughter, has passed from a drug overdose, which has turned Tommy into the Dark Arrow, or I forget what he was called the Magician, wasn't he? But that was Malcolm Merlin, and he was part of a whole bunch of other stuff. Anyway, so Tommy's the bad guy. We soon find out that Oliver is not on Earth. He's on Earth Dos, Earth 2. And so he's there, and he's trying to figure everything out. The Monitor comes to him. Basically, he's on a mission for the Monitor. The Monitor is the one that's been trying to put together a team to fight this impending crisis, and we don't really know what his story is, but I'm going to get into it. It starts to feel like he's a little bit more on, I wouldn't say on the bad side, but I don't think he's playing for the good side either. His position's weird. We'll get into it. So he kind of has been giving Oliver missions to collect these items that they're going to need for the coming crisis. One of them being that earthquake machine that shattered the Glades in season 1. That's the same machine that Tommy's using on Earth 2. It's got a dwarf star in it, and so that's what Oliver's been set to go get. And it's a pretty good episode, enjoyable. There's some fight scenes. There's a good heart-to-heart. We get to see Tommy back on screen. I think he was a really cool character from season 1. I like the little spots he's done throughout the seasons. So it's cool to see him back in the last season. At least for this little moment for them to have kind of like a heart-to-heart. He gets to save him this time around. Instead of letting him die, because of course Tommy dies in season 1, and so he gets a chance to save his friend, to save his best friend, probably his only friend other than Diggle, or his only friend from the past, before Diggle and before becoming Arrow and all of that. So pretty emotional. It was really well done. I really liked it, but he gets what he needs, but at a great cost, because when he saves Tommy, he doesn't really do what he's supposed to do, and it shows to the Monitor that he's not ready to take on this crisis. And then I don't know if it's for that consequence or because he didn't follow the rules, but Earth 2 disappears. It gets completely destroyed, wiped out. We see exactly what happens in the Flash's. In that show, he kind of goes into the future and kind of sees the impending crisis, and we've kind of seen trailers and bits of everything being wiped out in like a blue light. That's exactly what we saw in episode 1 of The Flash. So crisis is here, or is drawing closer, because we've clearly seen evidence that it is here, which kind of sets Oliver off to a weird spot, because now he kind of needs to decide whether he's going to become the man he once was and kill and do whatever is necessary to stop this crisis, or if he's going to stay the hero. That's kind of what the Monitor's position to him. And his first thought, I think, is kind of, I can't let another Earth die. It's my fault that Earth is now gone, because I made a mistake. So if I need to kill again, I need to kill again. It's a very interesting idea. I kind of like the idea of him going back to a killer, a little bit more ruthless. It'll be an interesting kind of switch. I don't really think it's going to play out, though. I think we've seen him too long as a hero, and too many obstacles he's faced to choose the path that he's on. So I don't think that's going to happen. But it'd be cool to see a little bit of the old Arrow back, as it were, from season 1. We also get Oliver and Diggle. Diggle actually comes from Earth 1 to help out Oliver, and Oliver wants nothing to do with him. For the most part, he knows he needs to do this on his own. So that was an interesting kind of duet. We finally get to see Diggle and Oliver back just working as a team. It was fun with all the other, kind of characters and team that Arrow had gone throughout the years. But I do like the old system of just him, Diggle, and Felicity. Felicity's not in the picture as of right now, but at least we're getting season one, Diggle and Oliver just being a team. They've been a team for a long time. They know they work well together. It's cool beans. Sweet. It's sweet. Sweet. It's sweet. All right. So we got that. Episode 1, pretty good. They're starting it off. I think it's going to be a good finale season. I'm really excited to see where it goes. I watched episode 2 as well. And again, it seems like we're going to season 2. Was it season 2? Yeah, I believe it was season 2 where we get Slade back into the picture. And this kind of goes through... well, does it go... For whatever reason, maybe I'm getting the timelines mixed up because we're in Hong Kong now. And I want to say that was a part of season 2, but I'm not 100% sure. It could be season 3 because I think that's the virus that's used with that Ra's al Ghul gets at the end. So it could be season 3 that they were in Hong Kong. I think that's right. Anyways, so he goes to Hong Kong and basically does a recap. Again, he's on the same mission he was the last time he was in Hong Kong. He's looking for that deadly virus that he tried to stop, and that was the big part of season 3 was him stopping that virus from Ra's al Ghul, using it to destroy his city. So he's back in Hong Kong, and this time, no jokes. There is the mission, and that's it. He needs to get this. He doesn't want another Earth to fall. He feels responsible for what's happened. No games. He's there to do whatever it takes to get the mission done. Which, awesome. We get some ruthless Arrow back. Just him and his bow. Just, tearing through, corridor through corridor. But, of course, that doesn't really last. He kind of... and which I think becomes a great decision. He decides to go against what the Monitor is saying. He kind of has a heart-to-heart with his people, and they're kind of like, man, you don't have to... they didn't say it like that. Like, come on, man. You don't have to, don't do it that way. No. It's a little bit more personal than that. And they really kind of communicate with each other, and he decides that he's going to be the hero that he should always be, and not just if he's going to do this. There's got to be another way than doing it this way and risking more lives just to save Crisis. The choices can't just be everybody dies or just some people dies. There's got to be a different choice. And of course, he's going to be the one to make that choice. So I think he starts to switch the game and starts to reverse it and work against the Monitor. Because even still, we don't really know. I get he's not good. He may not be bad, but he has his own agenda here. Clearly, he's using anybody it takes to stop this impending crisis or stop something that he may have caused. I'm not really sure. We do see at the end that he is working with Diggle's wife, and Diggle's wife has not told anybody. She's, again, been lured into this false impression that she's the one that she can help save the universe. And so she's working with the Monitor against, everybody else, or in secret of everybody else. We'll kind of see how that plays out. I hope she winds up being like a double agent and starts working with Diggle, but we don't know when the fate of the universe is at it. It's interesting to see, the character personalities and how far they'll really go to fix or solve Crisis. So there's episodes 1 and 2, guys. Tell me what you think. I think it's going to be a good season. I think they've got the makings. It's always been there. The show's been on for 8 seasons. It's definitely had its dips, but they've always been able to turn it around. I think they can finish strong with this one. I'm super excited to see where it goes. I hope they do a final like Flash and Arrow crossover. I know we're going to get Crisis and everyone's going to see each other, and that's going to be awesome. But I think Barry and Oliver have become really good friends, and they need to have some sort of goodbye, or something. I think that would be important. I cannot wait for Crisis. I have so many episodes to get through. Join me next time. We're going to be diving into, we've got Arrow 5 and 6 that we need to do. We've got Arrow 3 and 4, to be honest with you, because I said Arrow, not The Flash. The Flash, we're on 5 and 6. Supernatural, I'll get to. Crisis is huge. I saw a couple episodes of Batwoman. It's pretty good. I think they've got the makings of a show there. I've watched the first couple of episodes. They're laying everything out on the table, first couple episodes, so they're really diving in deep. I think they want to try and get her pretty caught up, and because she's definitely going to be in Crisis. So I think they're kind of getting her off the ground a little bit quicker than the rest of the kind of characters who's had a nice kind of slow introduction. But we've get introduced to bad guys and villains and plots and storylines and family connections and who's who really early. But it's pretty good. So go check it out. Exciting stuff. Hopefully I'll get to talk a little bit more about that in upcoming episodes. And there you go. There's the CW. It's really kicking it in the high gear. I cannot wait for Crisis. I can't stress it enough. All right, guys. That's it for this one. Signing off. Have a good one. All's well. Arrow, Flash, CW. Watch it all. Tell me what you think.